7. Yes, Nigeria Info 95.1. That is so crazy here. Yes, I took some time out because a couple of things happened. We had sports, we had news, and then I'm back. And then our friends, I told you earlier that we'll have our friends from um, Yaga ready to run a radio show. They're here, and the studio is a full house. Yes. Femi D live is here. Hi, Femi, what's up?
Very well. Good evening to you, Dan. It's a great honor to present with you. Well, it's another episode that we're going to have of the Ready to Run show. Of course, the Ready to Run show is where we have the young people, prepare them, and also talk about leadership and how young people should engage in leadership and make a difference. And that's something we are always excited to do about this time. That's from 6:35, just shortly after the news, all the way to 7:30. And we'll be having that conversation with quite a number of young people on the show today. It promises to be exciting, and you get to also call in and be part of the conversation.
Okay, now last week was the premiere edition. It was an amazing time. We had two aspirants.
Yes.
Come through, and I mean, you listening had a chance to send your questions and have a conversation with the aspirants. Today, it's not different. It will be a lot more better. We're looking at eliminating electoral violence against women. What an amazing coincidence! I mean, the 25th of November, just a couple of days ago, was the United Nations Day against violence against women. And I mean, now the Ready to Run, is taking it as regards electoral violence against women. Now, what exactly are we looking at with this topic?
It's been interesting all week long. There are different aspects regarding violence against women that really come up in many conversations. And when it comes to election, and when it comes to leadership, when it comes to democracy, it's important to relook, and I say relook now, to take a look again at how women from time to time have been left out. A quick background to this conversation will be that democracy in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the conduct of elections, has always been characterized by conflicts or violence in which many women have been victims over and over again. But one thing we need to know is that according to 2011 European Union Election Observation Report, electoral violence serves as a hindrance to women's political participation in Nigeria. So what we also certainly know that as part of the worldwide campaign for ending violence against women, this show today, the Ready to Run show, will interrogate forms of electoral violence and the many forms it takes, essentially, and its effects on women, the steps it really takes. And we would really get to talk to two candidates on the show today. Yeah.
Yes, we're looking at who we're speaking with Mohammed Diris, who is 35 from Nasarawa State, and is contesting for the House of Representatives seat under the National Rescue Movement (NRM), and Lois Auta, who is 38, founder and chief executive officer of the Cedar Seed Foundation, who is contesting for the House of Representatives, Amak Buhari constituency under the Accord Party.
So you see, we have a good show for you, a very engaging show. And this show, by the way, is brought to you by Yaga Africa with support from the European Union. Now, let's get started now and look at some of these background too. Sometimes when people say electoral violence against women, many times we think that it involves not just the beating and all kinds of things. Do you know that electoral violence can actually take the form where women are afraid to go to the polls to vote? They're being told not to go out, either through cultural or all kinds of means. Well, one thing we're setting up a conversation with some of the many of the guys who, by the way, Louis will be joining us via the phone lines at some points later today. But Mohammed Disru Issa, who is 35, and coincidentally, today is his birthday. He's here with us today. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
All right, welcome to the show, and happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you.
Yes, you're contestant for the House of Representatives, Nasarawa, and to federal constituency of Nasarawa State. I hope I got that right before you.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. And there's a lot to do under your party, National Rescue Movement Party. I mean, Danny, one would look at his profile now. Let's share a little bit about who he is before we start to ask him questions now.
Okay. His past political positions are enormous, which includes councillorship in 2016, the Karu Ward Publicity Secretary in 2009, AMAC Publicity Secretary in 2010, personal assistant to Aldogbe, and later transferred to Senator Seidu and Sadao, where he still works now and is currently promoted to Director of Administration of the National Rescue Movement.
Mohammed, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Let's start up the conversation now, because I can see your work profile and you've worked side by side with the government. Daniel and I just went through your profile. What was it like working with women, I mean, in office, either elected positions or they've been appointed one way or the other? What was the experience like?
Well, Nigerian youth, first and foremost, Nigerian youth, we are confident, we are committed to see how this country work. Because right now, as I'm talking to you, the country is sinking. We are not telling ourselves the truth. Both our leaders and the youth. In fact, my main point I want to discuss here today is all about youth. Because the leaders in Nigeria are not telling the masses the truth. When it comes to the women, your question, women in terms of organization, they are the best. Anywhere in the world, women are the best. But the problem is, in Nigerian context, the problem we're having is culture and tradition.
Okay.
Culture is affecting the culture and the tradition is making them to look like they are servants. But they are not servants. Because if you look at it from the beginning, your mother gave birth to you, she breastfeeds you, she makes sure you go to school. The only thing your father does is to come home, sleep in the morning and drop a change and say, she takes care of the family. She go out there and work and come back and make sure the child get the best. But the culture and tradition is killing their morale.
So it brings us to the question. I know you're running on the National Rescue Movement, and yes, at this point in time, Office of the House of Representatives, I was just looking through a little bit of your political philosophy now, and one of the key things you said is the politics of integration against politics of exclusion and division, and you also did mention at some point in time that politics of credibility against politics of deception.
Yeah.
Why should young people, why should Nigerians and the people of your constituency take a chance on you, looking around some of the philosophy you put forward here as part of your profile of what you intend to do?
Yeah, I intend to do that because I earlier said the truth of the matter, the leaders are not telling the masses the truth. I can give you the figure from the source of DMO. You can see it.
Okay.
The debt
profile.
The debt profile we are owing in this country cannot sustain us. So they don't actually come out and tell the people the truth.
So, which brings forward the next key thing. I mean, you're young, you're experienced as a man ready to run.
Yeah.
One of the key things, I was looking at your, by the way, once again, happy birthday, makes you 35 years old today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Now, young, ready to run. How would you say your vision has moved when at the point you felt you were an aspirant and now that it looks like you've secured your party ticket, how does that make you feel? Is your vision clearer now for the House of Representatives? What do you intend to do that will, anybody listening would know you're ready to run?
Yeah, I'm ready to run. I don't make promises. I only go and campaign. When I campaign, I'll fulfill my promises according to what manifesto. I have a manifesto, is my guideline.
Okay.
That manifesto, I put it on internet. I've shared it from ward level to local government level. I've distributed to the leaders, my family, friends, everybody. They should read it. If there's amendment, they should make amendments. I arrive at this because I have 3-point agenda on my, if I win, by God's grace, I'm going to win.
Oh, okay. So one of your points agenda, let's review one of your key points agenda. You talked about education, you talked about women empowerment. Coincidentally, we're celebrating the women and violence against women this week. Let's listen to you expatiate on women empowerment and youth engagement. How would that be done?
over the years, Nigerian women has proven they are more than a mere bench warmer. Even in the midst of the dominated congregation in rural communities, these women are the pillars and strengths for their family. They are really custodian of the future generation, empowering women through specialized skill acquisition and provision of soft funding to provide their businesses is the only roadmap towards the eradication of poverty. Hence, I will make a provision for empowerment of women through agricultural training and various training that will make them independent and self-reliant.
Mhm. Okay, now looking at all of the plans that you have for women now, and I mean laudable plans there, making them self-reliant and also ensuring that they acquire skills, especially when it comes to agriculture and ways to like I'm seeing here soft funding to drive their business, which is a roadmap towards eradicating poverty in society. Now, all of these things as a young person who is vying for office and knowing fully well that we have a society, like you said, a traditional norms that tend to want to limit the kind of limits women can attain. How do you intend to deal with this? Because I know you, particularly for one, you're coming from a place where you obey traditions or you obey rules, culture and everything. So how do you intend to do this? To focus on women, I've seen women education and youth engagement. How do for that class of women? How do you intend to work that out?
As I earlier said, that is by God's grace, when we get to the National Assembly, we're going to make a bill that will support women to get to where they want to get to, height to the society, because the tradition and religious and culture is still dragging them back. We must get people, youth, that will get to the National Assembly and amend that in the Constitution. If we don't amend it, that's how we will be dragging feet.
We still intend to connect to Louise out there. We hope we can connect to her. She will be about the only female voice on the show today, and we'll really be excited to have her on the show if we're able to connect with her. She's also a candidate at this time, and if we're able to connect with her, it will make a lot of difference to keep this conversation going. So at any point in time, I may interrupt you for the lady to join the conversation, but let's listen to you respond to the issue of how would you eliminate now when it comes to the rhetoric against violence. I mean, it's one thing to know that there's violence against women. It's another thing to also know that it can be prevented. But you as a youthful person and who is a leader in your own youth group, in your immediate community, what's been your interaction with the women in your environment in a way that when one comes to your area to say women are being catered for, violence against women, you're out against it, how would one find your community at this stage when it comes to women and the issues that affect them?
Number one, we have the greatest asset that this country ever had. The IBB administration created National Orientation Agency, which is the bedrock. That is what is going to assist this. But the National Orientation Agency, they are not doing their work. They only collect budget every year and squander the money.
They will disagree with you that they are putting an attempt to get the best of their work.
They are not doing their job. If they actually did their job, by now Nigeria would be a better place. That National Orientation Agency is the best solution, it's the best organization to solve this problem. But they are not actually doing their job.
Okay, so there's still a lot to talk about here. Let's hope Louise is able to join us, but we don't want to leave you out of the conversation as well. We want you involved. When I say you now, Danny and I want you to be part of the conversation, either by writing via WhatsApp or calling in. And the WhatsApp number here with us would have to be, Danny's not familiar with this number, so I wouldn't leave it out of it. It's 0903 802 86 8654. I'd like to take that again, okay? That's 0903-802-8654. Let's give you the phone numbers as well.
Okay, now you can be part of the conversation. Call up 094600 951 094600 951 or 080 959 74869 080 3123029. Full lines are buzzing already. Hello.
Yes. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Awok Abdullah. I'm calling from Life Camp.
Okay.
I support the ambition of that young man over there because I so much believe he's going to be a very, very selling candidate, a very, very precious person. Most especially politically wise, actually listening to him. But my advice is instead of actually capitalizing on one side of it, which is the women, you understand? Because you know you're actually vying for a political position. So you don't give much weight in terms of maybe your analysis to a particular maybe sex, you understand, neglecting other sex, which is the main aspect of it. You are not actually making it balanced. The reasons why we have both male and female in this world is because we cannot actually do without each other. The reasons why we also have with position or maybe preciousness in the life is because, yes, they actually give birth to children and actually, but they cannot do it alone.
Okay, so let me ask you this before you
Hello.
go off. Before you go off, let me ask you this. So,
Yes.
because you just talked about women just giving birth, and literally those are some of the dynamic roles we've known them to have over time. What about women in politics? How is that?
You see,
What's
fine.
your take on that?
The issue of women in politics is quite clear. In Nigeria,
Especially
you don't
young
have more.
women.
Hello?
Yes, please go on.
Yes, in Nigeria we have, you understand, about that issue of that maybe gender sensitivity is not actually very, very clear. And that's to him. But all I want him to do is just to balance the equation. You don't give much relevance to women and neglect aspect of it. When you get to
That
office, and
sounds
I'm wishing you the best tomorrow or anytime election, please do justice 50-50 to vote. And this is how you actually get it right. Thank you.
Many thanks to you for your call. Oh, unfortunately, we didn't follow through with your name, but we can always take another call. Remember, part of this week is about eliminating electoral violence against women, and that's what we're focusing on the Ready to Run show today. And okay, so
Hello.
yeah, I'm sorry I would have to take you off, but Louis is ready to join us. Louis Alton joins us now. Good evening to you, Louis. How are you doing today?
I am fine.
It's good to have you join us. Now, I know you're way far away from us, but it would be nice to just get your insight. You're one of the well-achieving women that we know of, a young person, a woman, also person living with disability, as a matter of fact, and you're one of the few scholars that was picked up by the young global leader of World Economic Forum, as one would have. How is your how much of your vision have you put out there and shared with people as a young person at this time?
Yes, I have a vision to see every vulnerable group being included in government policies and programs. Because for too long, persons with disabilities, young people, women, the elderly, children have been excluded from what government is doing. So I am angry with what is happening. I am tired of the exclusion, the deprivation, the marginalization, and the stigmatization of these groups. That is why I'm ready to run. Enable me to change some policies with my colleagues when I get there.
Yes. Now, Louis, I'm from Plateau State, but the office you're running for as a House of Representatives 2019 Ahmad Buhari Federal Constituency, and we, the team members of Ready to Run, appreciate that you've come out to run for this very particular office. One of the things you do say on your profile is, I do not have legs, but I have mouth to speak, hands to write, brain to think, and act beyond my disabilities, and see my persona and not my wheelchair. The very fundamental question I'd like to ask you at this time is, So how is the reception to you as a woman in terms of with the disability that you've experienced, and at the same time, how do you feel in this very week where violence against women is being talked about around the world?
Yes, as a woman with disabilities, I suffer from many challenges, from inaccessibility, gender-based violence. Women with disabilities suffer more because they cannot explain how it happened, particularly the deaf woman. What about the blind? How can she say this was the person that raped me? As for me, I use a wheelchair. How can I run when I am attacked?
That's such a deep truth.
So these things need to be tackled as quickly as possible. The perpetrators should be prosecuted, and I urge the National Assembly to, as a matter of urgency, review extant laws on GBV and prescribe stiffer penalties for perpetrators of sexual and gender-based violence.
Yes.
So, the general public should begin to see women as their sisters. They should begin to see young girls as their daughters. And I believe with that mentality, it will reduce the number of rape in this country.
Okay, Louis, Danny has a question for you.
Okay, Louis, have you got a framework, or what have you got? What plans have you got for persons with disabilities, especially as it has to do with women, when you eventually get into the green chambers?
Yes, I will come up with laws, legislations that will give rights to women with disabilities. These women with disabilities we're talking about, they can be great leaders too. They can be good mothers at home. They can be great teachers. For example, I have shown and I have inspired many people out there through what I do. I'm the first Black woman in Africa that was named a Young Global Leader of the World Economic Forum in 2017. I founded Cedar Seed Foundation that advocates for the rights of persons with disabilities. And now I am running for an office to enable me take an action on inclusive legislations, inclusive education, inclusive infrastructure, inclusive employment, and also advocate for equal opportunities for all these vulnerable groups. Those are my plans when I get to the green chambers.
All right then. Thank you so much, Louis, for joining the conversation. For those who just joined in, we're having the Ready to Run show, a show brought to you by Young Africa, and is equally supported by the European Union. The conversation is about ready to run, young people who are ready to run. And we've been having a conversation, of course, with Mohammed Disru Issa alongside with Louis. Yes, Louis out as well. Both candidates, both young people running. And Louis is running from the Buhari Federal Constituency. She hopes to become the House of Representative member there. And Mohammed as well is also running on the platform. On a break. When we do come back, we would engage you in a conversation on the Ready to Run show. Stay with us. We'll be back.
I didn't play myself. I didn't play myself.
I see. Yeah.
You are our friend. How is that? Is there anything you know that? You know the reason why it's media. Huh?
Did you know?
I didn't hear it. I said it's good.
See, it's not it. Play it now.
Can you play it from there?
No, don't worry.
Play it from here.
Just
Looking for a job? Have you searched jobs near me today? Feel for your hustle by Google.
Sorry, I work with those people. I know who they are. Those people in power. It's like you don't know who they are. They use media. I say that we need to be quiet because it needs to take minutes. Sorry, just.
in the news update, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says government will increase the number of people on antiretroviral treatment as part of commitment to ending the HIV epidemic by 2030. Osinbajo stated this today at an event to commemorate the 2018 World AIDS Day in Abuja. The Vice President, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, expressed commitment to allocate more funds to the treatment of HIV. On his part, Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, advised Nigerians to embark on HIV testing, saying it is the only way to achieve the first 90 target of the joint United Nations program on HIV and AIDS by 2020. Earlier, Director General of NACA, Dr. Sani Aliyu, noted that result of the largest HIV survey in the world would be made public by March 2019 to enhance local ownership of the HIV response in the country. Meanwhile, the National Assembly All Progressives Congress caucus from Kano State has passed a vote of confidence on the state governor, Umar Ganduje. Speaking on behalf of the lawmakers at the press briefing today, Senator Kabiru Gaya said corruption allegations against Ganduje were orchestrated by the opposition People's Democratic Party to distract the governor from continuing his giant strides in infrastructural and human capital development. Also speaking, Al-Hassan Dogwa insisted that there is no strong opposition to the APC in Kano State, adding that the people of the state are strongly in support of President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Ganduje. Less than 3 months to the 2019 general elections, 4 members of the House of Representatives today dumped the ruling All Progressives Congress. Lawmakers are Abdul Kabiru Akinlade from Ogun State, who decamped to the Allied People's Movement, while Rabiu Kaigama from Jigawa State decamped to the Social Democratic Party. Others are Mohammed Ajana from Kogi State, who rejoined the PDP, and Salisu Koko from Kebbi, who also joined the SDP. Recall that 4 members had last week dumped the APC for other parties. Looking at the foreign scene, the Gambia's government has paid out $100,000 in compensation to the family of journalist Chief Ebrima Mane, who has been missing since his detention by the former regime of Yahya Jammeh in 2006. Jammeh's regime had refused to implement a 2008 ECOWAS court order to pay compensation to Mane's family. He was among the journalists who had become a symbol of brutal repression the media faced during Jammeh's 22-year rule. It is widely assumed that Jammeh's regime, however, denied that he had been detained. And that's the news update on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Don't forget to always send us eyewitness reports as news breaks in your area. Send your reports to eyewitness at coolwasabeing.com. My name is Biban Magoni. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
What's the last one play?
Just wait.
This one, I
Yes.
The latest updates, current issues, and lots more on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Sir, you are reading this news from Monday,
Yes, sir.
and you're not shaking. Why
Yeah,
now?
we are robots.
When do you want to travel the world?
You don't feel.
Why
is
no,
that?
no. Travel when you can
Why
be
is that?
totally
Yeah,
covered.
this
We
man.
guarantee you world-class customer
Which
service,
I know
highly
you know.
competitive
Yes,
ticket
we know
pricing,
you.
and so much
So
more.
why are you
Visit
always
us on
Why am I working?
www.travel.
It's his job. It's his job. It's my job.
Or you visit our Lagos office at Desiree
I
Plaza,
will say
Sheraton
something.
Link Road, Ikeja.
No. What is reported is the truth.
Once a week.
You understand?
No be only
It's
one
what
way
that's
enter market.
the Kano
Also, where they
State,
sweet
whatever.
me when I photography.
APC government.
I be like other
No,
one.
I
They
imagine
better
it's
also.
wrong.
Wetin I
Wait,
come do?
it's not
I
about
come
those
and
who
do. I
are
come
you guys
begin
come and
search.
say,
I say
man,
to
no,
you,
no,
photography style. Which shot I speak to you? Because how to sabi light make everything feel clear. Na every I search. The photography self na wetin I get I be. But I believe say I go good. That ginger and belief na the thing when I get. You say if you use Google find your own way. With that ginger and belief, wey must dey. Find for your hustle by Google. Search now.
This is serious problem.
Let me show you
Cannot
the
take focus with.
No, we know we're trying to
Hey!
No, I don't know. This one. Check out our agenda. Because
Cannot. Oh God.
so we're not going back. I ain't leaving us.
You know that job is that conversation. So we are
Who's that?
Amazato, Hawaii, I say about
There's no
banana,
way
I
we
show
can
you
cover
left you
country.
fine.
He's a doer.
Yes, I know what you
Yes,
was
I
on.
am.
I ain't gonna out what will not general. I
This
will
is
go
Ghanaian
on.
and
Yes, I when her
Yes,
yes, and I
This
will
Steve now, Steve God, Idoma, one of those training languages.
$1.4 million. How they do? How they pay salary?
Aya mulakude ngwala kala no mala muka amasache awonayasa ama shikwe akungolo ajina
Shikwe yibenyana ta gana dada no lo habusulu ho ko shikwe yase ko ko shinya san ni ba won ko pie ko diga na ko shinya san ko ta wo sa wo
Let's call her from yesterday here now.
The time.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria
Info. 95.1 Nigeria Info. We are Nigeria Info.
I said this is disgusting.
The time is now. Are you ready to run? The 2019 election is around the corner. And it is
Sanusi, bring yourself here. Her name is Lloyd.
Should I dial?
the contest is for one presidential seat, 69 national assembly seats, 29 humanitarian seats, 991 House of Assembly seats. Who takes a seat? And now the youth can vote and they voted for. The right-wing future will be lead. And now we are ready to run. The Ready to Run show is live from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, then. Well, we hope to find Lois join us back on the show. Yes, by the way, we're making some major time adjustment to the show. Hi there. We're glad you joined us back, Lois Wata. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we're glad you joined us back. For those just joining in, welcome to the Ready to Run show. We're on the second part of the show at this point in time. The Ready to Run show essentially brings young people together, and yes, young people who are willing to take up leadership of the country in various platforms across the almost 91 political parties that we do have across the country. And every week for the next few weeks, we'll be getting the opportunity to have them joining into the studio and have a conversation with us as regards a little bit of their vision, a little bit of what they intend to achieve, and most importantly, the difference that young people can make in our democratic life in the country, Nigeria. And yes, the Ready to Run show is brought to you by Younger Africa. It's supported with the European Union at this point in time. We're glad we're here. So we've been having a conversation earlier, Danny and I, with Muda, yes, you want to Muda is still here with us, Muda?
Yes,
Mohammed
Disiru is Isa is still here with us, who is contestant for the House of Representatives, sits under the National Rescue Movement, NRM, and we're joined via telephone by Lois Alta, who's also the founder and chief executive officer of Cedar Seeds Foundation, and is contestant for the House of Representatives, Amak Buhari constituency under the Accord Party.
And part of the show is, of course, to have you join in the conversation via phone lines and as well writing your messages on WhatsApp. Now, we're taking special messages on this WhatsApp number that I'm about to call out. That's 09038028654. I'm doing the old-fashioned way now. That's two numbers at the time so that you don't miss out on it. 0903802865 and 4. So let's go back to the conversation about ready to run and the vision of the Nigerian youth. Well, finally in August, the difference was made when the age bill reduction allowed different young people across the country to run for various offices and to possibly put forward their vision on how they're going to do that. And yes, like we said earlier, Mohammed is here with us, and he's been talking extensively about how he's going to make a difference in his constituency in Nasarawa State, which we did share a little bit part of your philosophy earlier. But before we do go on, because Lois is on the line, let's go back to her. Are you there with us? Hello?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's talk more a little bit now. Let's leave the women. I mean, of course, we've taken our time to talk about violence against women to a large extent, and we believe that that conversation is ripe and is very needful at this time. But you, as a candidate now, how has been the momentum around you? I was speaking with some candidates earlier, and some that didn't even get elected, and they told me about all kinds of challenges they do face, from marginalization to godfatherism to endorsements that are not really endorsements to what's been unspoken. What has been your experience like in getting momentum from young people, from men, from women as you approach the 2019 elections? Yes, please, go on.
As a candidate, and even before I emerged a candidate, during my conversation, I came across some questions from people like, okay, you are not from Africa, how do you going to make it? And I told them, I'm here to make the task off. We should keep ethnicity aside. Then secondly, I'm a woman, and I'm also a woman. That's a double increasing jeopardy. But I told them, women are world leaders. So what I need from them is the opportunity, is to believe in me, to see beyond the possibilities, to support me by giving me their vote. And someone again asked, okay, you don't, are you sure you have the funding to compete with other contestants, other candidates? And I said, no, I don't have this, but I have this. Okay. I'm coming in with new ideas. Okay. I'm coming in with innovative ideas that are going to make Amak and Buhari an inclusive and accessible and a global city. I'm going to use the power of my contact, network, internationally and locally, and make things happen for the people of Amak and Buhari.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So, yes. Okay.
Another challenge that I see is inaccessibility to meeting halls and rooms. Because I'm a wheelchair user.
Oh, funds.
So I had to be carried, or they come down and meeting itself. So I want the people, beautiful people of Amak and Buhari, to believe in me.
Okay.
Challenges are always there. But I believe once we fall, we can also move on.
All right. Okay, so
and keep the bad goal.
okay, so let me for a moment also ask another person in the studio. He was also a candidate here. I believe you're having your own set of experiences. I can imagine what it's like generating funds around your campaign. What's that process like for you? He said, "Ha." You know when the man answers with "ha," there's "ha." Okay, please go on.
Yeah, for me, I'm a grassroots politician. I don't believe in godfatherism. Fatherism I have is the masses. We hold them responsible. My campaign to them is bring a basket and put your 50 naira. If I fail you, do whatever you want to do. But before you put that 50 naira on that basket, swear with the 50 naira. If I fail you, that 50 naira will be your work against you.
That's such a graphic, very graphic way of getting endorsements. Don't you think that's going too far in getting those endorsements? Or do you think that is what politics needs now, where people almost literally swear that they will perform at all costs?
Don't give them promises, because you have economy. If you are giving them promises, what if your economy fail? And another thing, tell them, don't give them promises.
So you're not giving promises. I don't want you to paraphrase. I want you to say what you would do and would not do.
What I would do, my campaign is always is. I've campaigned. I was a councillorship candidate in 2006. I know what I did. I went door to door and told them, look, I didn't even produce a poster because I don't believe in posters. I went door to door. I'll come and wake you up in the night, sit with you and say, okay, you know me, I know you. You know what I can do and you know what I cannot do. Let's keep about family background. Let's keep that aside, because you have to make them to trust you. Because Nigerian masses are afraid of politicians because of promises. 4 years later, they'll come back and make another promises. I am not making promises to you. Bring out your 15 naira, put it in a basket, swear with that 15 naira. When I fail you, that 15 naira will work against me.
Certainly. Okay, so still stay with us. We would like to bring in phone call conversations. Now, let people say, I mean, if you're listening out there, what's been your experience like? You've noticed some young people in your area who have over time approached you to say they are ready to run, that they are ready to convince you their own brand of politics, if I may say, is different. People like Louis Imbuari, who is making the difference, who is saying, Lois Imbuari, who's making a difference in our campaign, despite being one of those people who is living with disabilities, and of course, Mohammed as well here. Let's hear what you do have to say on phone lines. Have you noticed young people in your area and they are coming to you with their campaign? What's been your primary response when the young person comes to you to say, oh, I'm running for office in your area and I want your support? What's your take? Let's hear from you right now. You can call in on any of the numbers now. That's 094 46000951 and then 08095974869 as well. I'm not missing out on 08031230293. Let's hear what you do have to say. And if you want to send in a WhatsApp message with regards to some of the ideas that are being shared here as well, the numbers for the WhatsApp number for the Ready to Run show is 09038028654. Let's take this phone call and hear what this person would share with us. Young people in your area who have come to you for votes, what's been your response like?
Hello?
Yes, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Family.
Yes, good evening to you.
Good evening to your guest.
Yes, many thanks to you as well. Please go on. What's your name?
My name is Jerry.
Okay, Jerry.
Calling from Pape.
Jerry from Pape, you do me a favor, move away from your radio just a little bit. Just
okay, let me off it.
Oh, excellent then. Yes.
That your guest, you know, I like that his party very well. So I don't know how to locate their office so that I'll come and
register as a member. That's a national rescue movement.
Okay. All right. I would respond to that. But have you noticed young people in your area who have come to you to say, "Oh, please support me in your part and support my campaign"? What has been your own response, like Jerry?
My own response of campaign support.
Yes, young people who have come to you for support. How have you responded?
Well, I feel like young people to be in power. I really like, if I'm from his constituency, I will just vote for him. But since I'm not from that constituency, so my vote cannot go to him.
What about the young people in your constituency? In Pape, has there been any young person who has come out asking for your vote, requesting for your support? How have you responded? Would you be willing to respond?
Yes, I'm responding well. I'm supporting them. I will support them with my time and anything I have.
Okay, we can count on you for that. Thank you so much, Jerry, for calling in. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there. That was Jerry from Pape. He was talking about supporting young people. Let's know what you think as well. Are you supporting young people in your area, and how have you done that? How have you extended yourself to make a difference in that regard? This is the Ready to Run show. It's brought to you by Yaga Africa alongside with the European Union, and we're having this conversation about young people who are ready to run, who are ready to make a difference, who are saying, yes, it's our time. And yes, we've come before you for your support, for your all kinds of things that you would get them into office. How comfortable are you supporting a young person to become a leader of measure in any area? Okay, let me come back to Mohammed. Why the calls continue to come in as part of young people in office. Now, there are other people you've also known. You have taken a step to assure people in your area to say, "Hey, if you contribute towards my campaign, I assure you that I will deliver on." You said not promises. I will deliver differently from others. What would you say to other people, young people who are also running, who need very convincing language for their communities, for their supporters, and the likes of it in that regard?
You know, we still bow down to our unity and purpose, and our foundation. Like me, my challenges I'm facing in my constituency, sometimes somebody will come to you and tell you you're not from that place, and which your father was born there, your grandfather was born there, but they'll still tell you that you're not from there. But for me, I don't take them as, I take them as if they are not serious. We have to go back to our foundation if we really want this country to work.
Yeah.
Our foundation is faulty. Our culture is faulty. Tradition is faulty. And unity of purpose, that is what we need right now. I'm appealing to young people in Nigeria. 70% of voters are younger people. So why are you wasting your time? Just go out there and get your BBC and vote those people. You don't need to talk. 2019 is around the corner, just 100 days away from now. Get your BBC. Let's sit down. Let's get their policy documents, all the presidential candidates, all the gubernatorial candidates, House of Assembly candidates. Get their policy documents, read them. But I know young people too are faulty because some of them believe they want to go on, they want to ride on good car, they want to wear new clothes, but you have to work hard to make sure this country, we have to fix this country, and this is our time.
All right, Ned. Well, very well said, I must say. Now, for those who were not able to join in via the phone lines, I understand some people are calling out the WhatsApp number as the phone lines. No, the same Nigerian phone numbers work for the phone lines. But I'm sure we'll be able to talk live on that platform, that's via phone calls next week. But for this week, during the course of this week, you have a message, you have an idea, you have something very important you want to say to young people. The WhatsApp number to reach the Ready to Run team remains 090. Okay, should I like to do the slow motion version? 09038028654. Okay, I have to say big thanks to the candidates. All the best, Louise and Mohammed, Lois and Mohammed. All the best to you guys. All right. Okay. So, but remember to send in your WhatsApp messages and make a difference. Let's really support the young people in Nigeria who are ready to work. Thank you so much, Danny, for having me in your studio.
You're welcome.
Thank you. My name is Femi. Good evening.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
45 minutes.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. All these people who take Nigeria's money.
This is Nigeria Info, in the heart of Nigeria.